This week I'm at the Trailhead Park, part of the Delphi, Wabash and Erie Canal Trail System. I'm going to walk the trail into Delphi. We're going to look at the canal and some of the scenes there and then walk back. So this is another part of Indiana history, not too far from where I live. You have this suspension bridge across Deer Creek with a nice map kind of detailing where we're going and what we're doing. A little history about this canal and the trip in the area. There we go. This suspension bridge has actually been washed out by the creek when it come up a few times. You can see how far down there it is, and to think that that water has been this high to wash it out. Give the folks here credit, they keep rebuilding it. Several trails that kind of loop and use this lead off. We're taking the Robbins Trail to the Canal Towpath. It's where the last existing section of the Erie Canal in Indiana that actually has water in it. It's nice and shady through here. It's noticeably cooler than it was out in the sun, but just as sticky. Kind of a nice little path. Nice crushed stone path. Easy on your feet and easy to walk. Well, another intersection. This is the Wabash River. You actually go to Sunset Point, which if I have time I may do on the way out of here. It's kind of nice. Nice wide trail. This is another trail I bet just knocks your socks off in the fall. And I'm thinking, this section down here, that's some of the old canal they haven't cleaned up yet. A little information placard. Building the canal with the Irish epic. Americans throughout history have used immigrants to do the dirty work. I think the Chinese built the railroad, the Irish built the canal system. Wabash Mill Race Trail. I'll try to hit that on the way back. I think it loops with this section, just so I can see different things. Okay, so the wind blowing in the right direction. How would you like to have the tree that size? Oh, it's sad. An old sycamore tree. How would you like to have had that blow over this side and fall across the trail? That thing has to be ancient. I took this trail a few years back, and they've cleaned things up quite a bit along the way here. I don't know if they're going to try to restore that section of the canal or not. There's an awful lot of trees growing in it. The water is moving. Common sense approach. Is it easier to move the tree or take the path of least resistance? I'm really not exactly sure how long this trail is. I'm thinking into Delphi and into the trail you're looking at close to 3 miles maybe. I have to look it up on the map later. Section of the old canal that hasn't been restored, all swampy and muddy and disgusting, and those early immigrants that dug it by hand got cholera, diseases, mosquito bites, infections. It had to be hot, miserable work. It would be just miserable to clear it out by hand, let alone dig it by hand. Well, we have these nice benches along the way to sit. Informational sign talking about the locks and how they worked and the engineering feat behind them. It's pretty cool. Sometimes you gotta wonder if we could do that as efficiently today. We would probably over-engineer it and it'd cost a fortune. Just a nice trail. Coming up to a old iron bridge that they've had brought in and restored. From this point, a side-cut canal took boats to the foot of the main street. Please leave area ready for others to enjoy. Clean and carry out your trash. Kind of neat. Part of it goes off that way, part that way. A lot of folks in Delphi don't realize that there was a paper mill here. I actually had two. Awesome old bridge. They brought it here to take you across the water. Very cool. It's kind of nice to see the old stone arched bridge still being used today. Don't build them like that no more. Favorite section. You walk along the road for just a little bit, and then you go under the highway by a tunnel. Not the most scenic section, but probably makes the most sense. I think we're on the right path. Not the biggest tunnel in town. Guess we're on the right track. Again, I'm never thrilled to see an urban trail, but the city grew up around the Erie Canal, or vice versa, so it would be hard to separate the two. Coming back up on more of the canal and its tributaries. It has been really hot and sticky And I believe that algae just goes crazy. My gosh, look how wide they have it. That's really neat. Fortunately, there's some stuff floating around out there. Signage. Always reassuring. Feels good to get out of the sun. Back into the trees. Again, we have a tunnel under the railroad. And you can see where the railroad cut off this section of the canal. They got just a little tunnel through it to keep water moving. Just as this railroad tracks cut off this canal, the railroad in general kind of ended the usefulness of the canals in general. Cool. Well, we're coming out to what is the canal park. And they rebuilt the period style buildings, moved some, saved them. They have a working canal boat that we'll see. All in all, pretty cool. Some of the little shops they have set up. Interpretive Center and Conference Center. And no one else, same era, and they moved it here. In the distance you see a blacksmith shop, a woodworker. Oh, they rent paddle boats, bikes. Really a lot to see here. We're working to the end. Beautiful stone bridge, a lot bigger than the last. This section is just beautiful. Bridge. Get a close up that here in a little bit. Very picturesque. More of the canal going that way. Which is where we're heading. We'll go down to Founder's Point, which is the end of the trail, and loop on around back. This is such a scenic trail. So close to my home, about 30 minutes, that I really do think I want to come back in the fall. Maybe with a friend and enjoy the fall scenery. Because this is going to be spectacular through here. Okay. We're at, as they say, the end of the trail. This is called Founder's Point. And I'll show you why as soon as they loop around here. This is where the water comes from they use to supply the canal. That's a lot of water. Fresh groundwater pumped out of the local stone quarry. Stone quarry had hit enough water that they were pumping it into the Wabash to keep from flooding the quarry. And the canal folks talked them into dumping it in here, which is closer, and it gave them a fresh water source. So without that, there could be no canal, because you clearly see it got ended right here. The other side is nothing but overgrown woods. No resemblance of a canal. Just shows you how much work they did. I think this town could be proud. I'm proud of them. Okay, well, they said this was a looping trail, but I'm just not seeing the loop. It loops around Founder's Point at the end, but comes right back to where the trail was before. So I'm going to take the trail back to my car and we'll meet at the end, where we went to the towpath to the canal, and this is Sunset Point this way. So let's go check out Sunset Point. I mean, we're so close. Sunset Point will be right out on the Wabash, just up here at the end of the trail. Almost back to the parking lot. Lookout Point, Sunset Point was cool, but there were just too many people there. And it's not even sunset. About 6 o'clock. Well, this is Native Robin, and as I always like to say, happy trails.